Good evening, everyone. My name is Tone Vase, and here is another edition of a market analysis. I will make this one short because it's a holiday weekend pretty much. Nobody wants to listen to me. Just a small scheduling update. I will be in Chicago speaking at a blockchain conference on the 30th of this month. So if you're in Chicago, I'm only planning to be there for the day. I'm not going to be, I'm just going to fly in and out. But if you're in Chicago, definitely reach out, come to the event. And I'm fairly easy to reach, especially on Twitter, tone_LLT. All right, let's take a look at the market. This has pretty much been my week off. I don't really trade on a week like this. This is the week that a lot of traders take off. Very little volume going on. Just a glance at the markets today. We opened up kind of weak and we closed fairly strong across the board. The Dow continues to be the big leader, and we finally broke above a nice round number of 19,000. That's pretty big. NASDAQ remains the lagger, and the S&P stays in the middle, yet it made an all-new all-time high today. Okay, just something to keep in mind. All right, I will be updating the charts. I'll be switching to trading view, at least slowly. It's a very slow transition. We'll see how that goes on the video. Probably come off a little bit better. And this way, when I start making drawings and arrows, they will remain there going into the following week. And then me and everybody watching can kind of reevaluate this in real time. And everybody will see how wrong I am, and that's what you will get with a lot of traders. I try not to backwash anything. What I say and what I write remains. And if if I'm wrong on my predictions, I'm wrong on my predictions. As a good trader, you really only need to be right about 60% of the time, and you'll be a pretty good trader as long as you're consistent. Okay, let me drop this. I still haven't subscribed and paid for these yet. I guess I'm being cheap, but I guess I'm going to have to. There's a limit on how many charts you can save. So for now, I'm just going to do it like this. Okay, so there's really not much I can say about the S&P 500. We're at a new all-time high. I mean, I guess I can start throwing Fibonacci projections onto this because that's really my only way to look for anything of significance. Other than that, I might be a little premature here, but yeah, it might be a little hard to draw here. Okay, been a while. Gotta slide this over a little bit. Okay, now I can draw on it. All right, so the only thing is, and I'm gonna draw this a little prematurely, but I'm gonna assume that when we get back from Thanksgiving, all right, come on, draw this guy. We will reach an overbought condition. So the upside in the S&P should be somewhat limited. However, there's no reversal candles here, right? So there's really not much to worry about. There's really not much I can say. I mean, we're broken out above the all-time high. We bounced right off. I'll draw one more circle. This way, right? This way, these circles can stay there going into the following week. We bounced off. Oops. I guess I can do it this way. I'll adjust these later on. We bounced off the 200-day moving average. We've busted right through the 50-day moving average. The 50-day is now turning up. The 200-day is turning up. There's really not much here. I mean, we're going up. The Dow is even stronger. I know the NASDAQ is lagging a little bit. I'm not going to pull up the chart of the NASDAQ. And we bounced off the oversold condition here, just like we bounced in previous times. So, hey, it's going up. We're going to go to overbought, probably. Like I said, I'm going to draw that prematurely, but Once it turns, there will probably be a decent move on a pullback, but where is it going to turn? I have no idea, and probably nobody does either. So just let it go. If you're bullish, if you have long positions, stay with them. If you have short positions, you might want to, either double down in the near future or cut your losses now and look for a better time. That's what I would be doing. But right now we're going up. Let it ride. Okay, let's talk about the big boy here. So gold. We were using the different charts before, and I was expecting a little bit of a rebound, but my overall view on gold has been bearish ever since the election, ever since you had this wick, and then that was pretty much it. And now we've had the cross. This I will draw in. Yeah, I probably shouldn't draw too much as that's fairly time consuming. So, but the important things need to be drawn. I mean, these are fairly significant. They don't happen very often, and a lot of big money managers do pay attention to them. So I always say that I like seeing price pull into the cross or pull down into the cross, depending on which way it's flipping. But in this case, we are so far below, there's really almost no support. So what I will draw, and let's do a rectangle, and let's make it yellow. Yeah. I'm going to draw one of these because things aren't that simple. They never are. So if I, okay. I like picking round numbers here, even though these really aren't. So 85, let's say. Okay, here we go. All right, so if I draw this box, okay. I was going to edit it, but that's okay. I'll do it later. So if I draw this box, basically the top of this box has been support and the bottom of this box has been resistance. And I wouldn't be surprised if we stay in this box for a little while. But if we're breaking down below this box, as you can see, there's absolutely no support whatsoever. And I'll probably adjust these over the holiday weekend, but I will leave them in there for next week. And let's do, can we do an arrow here? Yeah, there we go. And sooner or later, I'm expecting this down move. And I'm going to have to make this red. I'm going to have to make this thicker. And we're going to make it a solid. Oh, thought that was going to be an arrow. Oh, well, like I said, I'm going to adjust these later on. So I am expecting more downside, and there is absolutely no support here. There's almost nothing. And the only thing that will bounce it up, just like in the S&P, that the S&P is reaching all-time highs. Gold isn't at like 5-year lows or anything like that, but really the only thing that can stop the slide down are just minor dead cat bounces, because I honestly see absolutely nothing that's going to prevent gold from going back to 1,000 and probably lower. So again, there is really not much you can say other than if you see a reversal candle and your momentum indicators like the MACD and RSI are starting to reverse, then there is I guess you can take profits in your shorts if you had shorts. You can probably profit a little bit from a bounce, but the bigger term move is down. If you're a longer term trader, I would look for gold to go further down. So this is the weird part, right? So gold's going down and commodities somewhat travel together because they are priced in dollars. And if the dollar is going up, then that kind of puts pressure on the commodities. But oil, however, has been going up, and I have been looking for oil to go up. I was actually looking for oil to go up a week earlier than it did, and but it is going up. Oil is now above the 50-day moving average. The RSI is not overbought yet. The MACD has just turned. I'm too lazy to draw anything on this right now. I'll draw them in probably later. And again, there is not much in the candlestick department as far as reversals. Yeah, there was an indecision on Monday, but now we're flat. So keep an eye on oil. I still think there is definitely some upside. Let me try an arrow again. Let's see how this goes. Here we go. Oh, I guess I should do it. A one-way arrow. And let's make this green. That can work. There you go. Yeah, so I am looking for oil to go up. Now, how high it goes up is still a little too early to tell. I don't know if it's going to break out. Like I've said on several occasions, I'm not a big fan of double tops. And we kind of had a double top between what happened over the summer and what happened a few months ago, or a month ago, I should say. So we might break above it, or we might fall short. So it's too early to say, but for now, I see nothing in oil that's basically hinting at even a pullback. Trends going up, staying with the upside. All right, I'll do Bitcoin last, like I usually do. Those are all the trading view charts I have up to now. So now we're back to doing it the old way as I transition over. And again, same thing with the dollar, right? So I was kind of hinting last video, if my memory serves me correctly, that this looks like a reversal candle, and if the following candle closes below this candle, it's definitely signaling a pullback. Well, I was wrong, obviously. Hindsight is 2020. So what I was looking for is a bit of a pullback, which clearly did not happen. But again, I mean, I don't know anyone that actually literally trades the dollar. I mean, you could, there are ETFs. But this is one of those good risk reward trades, because the next day you were still okay, but today, the moment it broke and was looking like it was going to close above the previous high, that's it. That's your stop loss, right? So even if a trader was timing this to the downside and you took the short, you have a very, very high risk reward ratio. You're looking for a reward of at least 2 points on the dollar, and your risk is maybe 30 cents, 40 cents, not that much. So once it was closing above the previous high, that's it. And all you can now say about the dollar is we're going up. I mean, there's really not much else you can say. It's been overbought for a while, but there's really not much. I'm going to take a look at the weekly, and yeah, it looks like literally an all-time high. I mean, if I go, I think I'm already at 5 years. No, I'm not. Let's go to 5 years. Yeah, we're at an all-time high. So I mean, we're in uncharted waters here. The only thing positive about this is that on the weekly chart, you still have room. It's not overbought yet. But even if it goes overbought, I mean, this is possible. So who knows? Like I said, I don't think this is the big breakout. I don't think this is the big breakout. And the reason why I don't think it's a big breakout is because it took a while to get there, right? So it took a while to get there. Like if you look at if you look at it prior, right? I mean, if you look at this breakout, I know it's similar. I know I'm like splitting hairs here. But if I want to make it yellow and without an arrow, but it doesn't matter. If you look at this breakout, it also ran a while before it did this. Then I'll draw another one, and then it did this, right? I mean, it also took a while to get there to break out. So I guess it. I guess maybe I'm being picky or I'm in denial, but it did take longer to consolidate. And it did break out on third try if you count like these two as one. So there's just a lot of similarities there. The only you know what? I don't know. I guess it could go to 120. I'm trying to like talk myself out of it, but I really can't. I mean, this is exactly what happened before. Other than things don't exactly repeat exactly the same way as they have in the past. But these events look very, very similar. The only thing I'm trying to talk myself into is just the fact that, okay, here we go. We were kind of trending down over here versus we were kinda ever slightly trending up over here, right? So I guess that is my only minor difference. And that allowed it for a slightly tighter consolidation and a better breakout. And also, um, the moving averages were much tighter. And right now we are very, very overextended above the 200 day. So, I mean, those are the only things that I'm like kind of forcing myself to talk me out of, the dollar going to 120. And the euro isn't collapsing fast enough. Like the world isn't deteriorating fast enough for the dollar to just jump like that. Though I'm not exactly sure why it jumped so much in 2014 either. So, all right. Anyway, so the dollar is going up. It's at new uncharted waters. There's not much I can say other than if you're riding the dollar up, uh, keep riding it. All right. So British pound. I've been relatively speaking bullish on the British pound only because I think it's unreasonably oversold, and therefore I'm waiting for this consolidation around the moving average. All right. Let's see here. I'm waiting for this consolidation around the moving average, and once we break out above this moving average, there is definitely room to go up. And I'm particularly looking at the RSI, which definitely has room to go to the 70. This definitely has room to go into positive territory. So there's room, and there is some room to the 200-day moving average. Now, of course, this is all relative. If the dollar does go from 100 to 120, then everything trading against the dollar will suffer. So the pound will not go up as much as it could if the dollar was just staying flat. So that's my view on it. And finally, I have, before I get to Bitcoin, Euro USD. And again, this is a little strange because the dollar had a massive up day, but the euro was kind of flat. And I was saying that euro feels a little oversold, so it can certainly rebound. How much can the euro rebound? Well, I'm still waiting for the dollar to take a break and pull back. So the euro can definitely go back to around here, which looks like some minor form of support just based on this. And then we will have another one based on this. And of course, the round number of 1.1, right? And but we're definitely headed towards parity with the US dollar. and almost certainly lower. I will look at the weekly because that's the only one that really matters. Yeah, so we just have like a very serious support line coming up, and we are going to break it. I don't know when. It could be tomorrow. It could be next year. It could be the year after that. But this line will be broken, and Euro's ultimate future is like this. Okay, so it'll do the opposite of the dollar. Uh, and I'm just curious. I'm just going to look at GBP versus EUR. And I'm assuming GBP comes first in this trading pair, though I'm not sure it matters on stock charts. Right. So I am expecting the British pound to rise against the euro. And on a weekly chart, it looks like it already had a pretty nice move, and it definitely has room to go. Let's take a look at the daily. It's probably very, very strong. And it is strong, right? So this is why I'm bullish the pound. I'm not so much bullish the pound against the dollar. I'm more so bullish the pound against the euro. And the pound is now daily overbought against the euro, but there's room between the 200-day moving average. So, but generally longer term, I'm way more bullish. I'm way more bearish the euro than I am the pound. Okay, so those were the main ones. So I do have a comment here. If the dollar is up, then gold is down. That is generally true, but not always, because the dollar was up big, but oil didn't go down, right? So you can't. There is some dependence on commodities priced in dollars that will react counter to the dollar, but and gold is more so connected to the dollar than oil is, because gold, I guess, is being thought of as money by some when oil isn't really thought of as money by anyone. But so there is some dependence there, but it's not exact. And I think even if the dollar was flat, gold was going to take a hit, maybe not in one day, but over time. So they're dependent, but to an extent. Okay, so Bitcoin. So this is the index, the BLX liquid index, which appears to have kind of frozen for the last week. They're working on it. I've already spoken to a few people, so hopefully this will be fixed soon. But this chart is a little more zoomed in, and again, we're at this resistance point of around 1750, and the previous high was around 1767. 767.70. And we need to break this with conviction. And the longer we hang around this area, the more we work off the overbought condition, the better the chances for a huge breakout past this line. Just like what happened here back in May. Now, the catalyst for this back in May was the upcoming halving of the Bitcoin reward in mining. The catalyst here might be segregated witness being adopted by the community. But on the other hand, if segregated witness is being blocked, as it's currently, people are trying to block it, and that gets some kind of traction, or segregated witness is not being adopted, that could lead to some jitters and some speculators selling their positions. And if users start having issues with their transactions, that, I mean, they don't really have anywhere else to go. There's really no alternative. So that could cause some issues, but it's mostly speculators that cause the big spikes. And it can still go either way. Just because we're hovering in this area, that there is big debates going on in the space. So if I take a look at the graph that is currently updating, this is Bitstamp, and it's hard to even pick a good single exchange to get your price off of. I mostly have Bitstamp because I've had it for a while, and these lines extend pretty far back, all the way to like 2012, where I started drawing these things. And yeah, so as you can see, if I go back a year, I would have expected Bitcoin to kind of be higher by this time. I was expecting it to hit the top of this channel um, earlier, like during the halvening period, bounce up to the top of the channel while we're still hovering along the bottom of the channel. So nothing to worry about. We have this Fibonacci line that's been acting as resistance several times already, and we will break out above it sooner or later. And hey, if Bitcoin price gets depressed a little bit, just gives people a chance to load up on their Bitcoins while they're cheap, because it is going to get um, they're going to get a lot more expensive in the near future. All right, so on that note, this is it. I kept this to under half an hour, which is good, trying to keep them short. I have live viewers, so if you have one last question, throw it in there. Yeah, I never chart anything on an iPhone or on my phone, like almost ever. Like I'll check the price on a phone, but I stick to computers. Uh, I guess I'm old school. I prefer the bigger charts. All right, guys. Have a good Thanksgiving. Hope you guys have a good holiday, and I will see you probably. Well, There's no reason to do a market video on Sunday because markets aren't going to trade on Thursday, and Friday, I believe, is a half a day. So there's really not much unless something very, very drastic happens. What I will be doing over the weekend is I might put together a video. We'll do one of these, and I'm not going to focus on technicals. I'm going to focus on fundamentals and economics and some of the other things, because not everything is charting, even though a lot of us only care about charting. So maybe I'll do a video on fundamentals and economics. All right, guys, signing off, and have a good Thanksgiving.